chore for infielders, so do not take him lightly. If he hits the ball on the ground, you're going to have to hurry throw. And of course, speed certainly kills. And in Ford's case, this is a guy who's from New Jersey, and he was actually in the state finals in the 100-meter dash in high school. And first pitch here of the 2018 season for the Skeeters is just a bit outside. Ball 1-0, and we're underway. Game 1 of a 6-game series and game 1 of a 9-game homestand here to start the 2018 season for the Skeeters. Second pitch here by Talbot as Ford squares the bunt. A very, very good bunter bunts it foul. It'll be 1 strike here on Ford. Ford mentioned that great high school career as a sprinter, also played football and was a star basketball player. His first full season in 2006 with West Virginia in the Sally League, he stole an impressive 69 bases. He followed that up, slacked off a little, stole 67 bases the following year between West Virginia and Brevard County in the Florida State League, as this one misses a little high and outside. 2 balls and 1 strike. He has stolen 30 bases 7 times during his career, and he is just 3 steals short of a magical number, 500 steals for his career. So he should get that perhaps in this series. The 2-1 is hit out into left field. That's going to fall in for a base hit, possibly more. Cutting it off is Barrett Barnes. A nice job by Barnes. Cuts it off before he can get to the wall and holds the speedy Ford to a very long single. Nice play by the Skeeters left fielder to start the season.
Yeah, you mentioned it there, Ira. I mean, that ball looked like it was destined to go off the wall. Barrett Barnes cuts it off nicely, and for all the accolades you mentioned about his speed earlier, to hold him to a single there and keep him out of scoring position early, I think that's a nice play out there.
I think my new favorite name in the Atlantic League, Daryl Siciliani, will bat here. Siciliani, the center fielder, will step in here, batting here from the left side. Talbot is going to have to keep a very, very close eye on Ford, and you can't miss Ford. He has lime green neon batting gloves. This one hit to second. Let's see if they can turn 2. Back hit by Rondon. The play to first in time, and the Skeeters a twin killing here in the first inning of game number 1 of 127. Great play by Rondon to former big leaguer Ryan Jackson and back to Matt Chavez at first. It'll go down 4-6-3 on the DP.
Looks good up the middle combo. First double play of the season. Went pretty smoothly there. Rondon to his glove side, backside. Nice flip to Jackson. I mean, looks pretty smooth to me from up here.
That was an impressive play. Mentioned the speed of Ford, so
yeah.
A backhander even tougher to shovel it to Jackson and have enough time to relay it to first. First pitch here by Talbot to veteran Atlantic League player Jonathan Galvez. A strike on the outside corner. 0-1. Just underway here, top of the first. Ira Liebman along with Ryan Posner. 2 outs, nobody on here for the Bees. And this one grounded back to Talbot, left side of the mound, fields it, fires it to first in time. And great recovery by Talbot on the 1-3 putout. A single. Ryan Jackson, the former big leaguer at short, he bats second. Barrett Barnes in left bats third. Cleanup hitter and first baseman Matt Chavez. Derek Norris behind the dish. He'll bat fifth. Batting sixth is third baseman Mauricio Ramos. Batting seventh is Courtney Hawkins, the DH. Batting eighth is center fielder Anthony Jansanti, and second baseman Alvaro Rondon is batting ninth. First pitch here is swung and fouled off to the right side, 0-1.
And here's how they'll line it up in the outfield, on defense for the Bees. Ira, we got Angelise Nina in left field. On center field, we'll have Daryl Siciliani. Right field, Darren Ford. At third base, Davidson Romero. Shortstop, Reed Brignac. Second base, Tony Abreu. First base, Jonathan Galvez. Behind the plate, James Skelton. And on the mound, lefty Andy Van Hecken.
No balls and 2 strikes to count here. Dotel, the former Atlantic League Player of the Year in 2015, skies this one to shallow right center field. Coming in as a center fielder, Siciliani, and he'll bring it down for out number 1. A fly it to center is the first out. 1 out, none on. Ryan Jackson steps in. Bottom of the first, no score between the Bees and your Skeeters. Jackson, a part of this team last year, joined them later in the season.
Yeah, he was here for just a brief stay. Went 5 for 13, hit a home run, drove in 3 runs, and then the Mariners picked him up, signed him with their AAA team. He spent some time with the Nationals AAA team as well as Miami Marlins AAA team. So kind of bounced around a little bit back here. Made his major league debut with the Cardinals in 2012. I apologize. Also has some time with the Angels in 2015. So he's got some big league experience. Good glove at shortstop as well. Went to Miami for college. And yeah, we'll see. Hopefully he can get off the kind of start he did last year. Like I said, 5 for 13 with a home run. I mean, he came out pretty quickly and did well on offense for sure.
1 ball and 2 strikes to count here to Jackson. Jackson bats from the right side. Has that slightly open stance and stands deep in the box against the southpaw Andy Van Hecken. Hecken winds and deals. They set up inside, and this one is a strike on the inside corner. Jackson ducked back the knees, got a piece of the inside corner for strike 3. So first strikeout for Van Hecken. 2 out, none on for Barrett Barnes. And the Skeeters have had a few players over the years, which is really nice, from right here in Sugar Land, and the Skeeters have 2 this year, and the man batting Barrett Barnes along with right-handed pitcher Kyle Winkler. First pitch here to Barnes is a fastball that misses low and away. Ball 1-0. No score here, bottom of the first. Game 1, home opener, season opener. Game 1 of a 6-game series here against the Bees. 6 games against the Bees, and then the Patriots will roll in for 3 games to close out the first homestand.
Yeah, this is a guy. If you talk to Pete Incaviglia, he's really high on Barrett Barnes. You talk about some of the new players that are on this team. Former first-round pick, 45th overall.
Swung on and missed. Ball low and away as Barnes tried to pull that ball. So down to the count, no balls and 2 strikes. Van Hecken against the sign. They're going to set up outside. Big looping curveball did not break. Goes off the mid of Skelton. Skelton comes up to bat and tell you some interesting notes as I've watched him for 5 years, and he's the most unusual catcher perhaps of all times. And I'll keep you in suspense because that's what I do, Mr. Postner.
Well, I'm looking forward to hearing about all that.
The 1-2. Swung on and missed, strike 3, and it was not foul tip. Skelton, speaking of, will tag Barnes, and that will do it. A conventional 1. a single double play and ground out for Talbot. The right-hander will face the meat of the order, 4, 5, and 6. Reed Brignac. It'll be Davidson Romero and then Angeles Nina. Brignac's name may sound familiar, has plenty of big league time, and even more familiar to me when I was in the Cal League in my really first year as a #1 broadcaster in Visalia. I heard his name mentioned up and down. He was in the level below me at low A, and they had high hopes for him, and eventually he would get to the big leagues with the then Tampa Bay Devil Rays. Ground ball to the right side. Second baseman Rondon has the play, 4-3 on the putout. There's out number 1. I want to bring in Romero, excuse me. Davidson, interesting name, Debinson, Davidson Romero. No bad here. Bats from the right side, number 24. The wind has already shifted here in just 2 innings. Now the flag's limp in right center will not help Romero a lot, but it will help left-handed hitters. This one is a strike at the knees, 0-1.
Yeah, you talked about the history in New Britain as well. Davidson played at New Britain Stadium with the Rockcats from 2011 to 2012, so another guy that's been through there, one of many, like you mentioned.
The 0-1 here by Talbot. Looked like a curveball breaks over the outside corner. That had some break to it. Went from the inside portion of the plate to the outside corner, and quickly 0-2 the count here on Romero. Stands close to the plate, Romero. Open stance from the right side, deep in the box. A righty-righty matchup for Talbot. This one in the dirt. Tried to get him to chase on 0-2, misses. Down low, 1 ball and 2 strikes. No runs on 1 hit. No errors for the Bees. No runs, no hits, no errors for your Skeeters. The 1-2. This one is inside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Robinson slow to get set here. Let's see where Derek Norris sets up. He's going to set up away here. The 2-2. This one on the outside corner, strike 3. You can hear the pop from here, but Romero knew it. He didn't even wait for the call, just walked away. That's the first K of the day, and there he's 2 away.
You can tell he wanted to work the outside part of the plate there, fastball away to get him looking as well. So nice job by Talbot there to hit his spots for sure.
So with 2 down, none on, in a scoreless game here in the top of the second, it'll be Angeles Nina, who was also part of this New Britain Bees team last year. A little bit of an unusual stance, has a bit of a crouch, knees bent deep in the box. His back foot is on the back line with an open stance. Squares to bunt here, takes it for a strike. Off-speed pitch catches the outside corner, no balls and 1 strike.
Yeah, got some time in the Atlantic League as well with the Bridgeport Bluefish, no longer in the league as we know, but definitely a veteran of this league as you mentioned.
Talbot's 0-1 here. This one is just a bit inside. Nina lifted up the hands, but it was indeed inside. Talbot has now retired 4 straight since that leadoff single to start this one. The 1-1. Swung and missed. 1 ball and 2 strikes. I think he was looking for a fastball. Nina way out in front of that one.
Yeah, I was like, gave him a little slider there. Like you guys mentioned, it got him pretty out in front.
Talbot, quick worker, already set, just waiting for Nina to get ready. I'll set up outside, the 1-2. Check swing, right side. First baseman Chavez way off the bag, will take it himself. 3 unassisted on the putout, 5 in a row. Retired. Gotta love that song. Turn Up the Radio by Autograph, a fitting song for a broadcast, especially of the radio variety. By the way, our new home here, Friday night game of the week, both home and road, will be here on Sweet 96, 96.1 FM, Sugarland's only radio station. Oh, pretty nice, pretty sweet, if you will, Mr. Posner. No balls and one strike to count here on Connor Bierfeld, who was a part of this, on the Skeeters' right-handed hitting. Matt Chavez, meat of the order for the Skeeters after they went 1-2-3 in the first. It'll be Chavez, Derek Norris, and Mauricio Ramos.
Yeah, Chavez with the Wignets last year, American Association, 330, 17 home runs. The guy can hit.
This one misses low and away. 2 balls and 1 strike to count.
He actually won a triple crown, too, playing for the Freedom Pro Baseball League. No longer an independent league anymore, but 430, 18 home runs, and 49 RBIs to win the triple crown of that league. Got himself a contract with the Giants in the minor leagues.
Too shabby. This one fouled back. Good cut there by Chavez. Felled it straight back into the screen. He was all over it. 2 balls and 2 strikes. No score here in the bottom of the second. Ira Lieben along with Ryan Posner. Chavez wearing number 16. Wears the shin guard on the front foot. Stands deep in the box on the right side. Right-handed hitting first baseman. Waits for the pitch. They set up inside. This one fouled off to the right side. So far he is not fooling Chavez. Now the good cut there goes down the right side. 2 balls and 2 strikes to count.
Yeah, I think that speaks to him. I mean, this is Pete's first lineup card as well as the manager and back cleanup. I'm sure that's a nice confidence boost for Chavez in his first year with the team.
Not that I can follow through on this promise, but our president, Jay Miller, his first game, as this one is swung and missed strike 3. That's now 3 straight strikeouts going back to last inning by Van Hecken. A heck of a good time there for Van Hecken. And 1 out, none up for Derek Norris. But he got the lineup framed by our staff for his first game as president. The Skeeters, if I could give you one piece of memorabilia, I guess, as a memory here for your first game, what would it be? Now, if you ask me for like an outfield sign, I can't come through with this for you.
Well, maybe if Pete gets tossed and he pulls a base out and throws it, somebody can scoop that up and grab it for me and sign it. Have Pete sign it. That'd be pretty cool, I think.
Funny you should say that, because Butch Hobson, who was a manager in this league with Lancaster, actually did that. He pulled the base off, signed it, and handed it to a fan in the front row. He said, finish the game without that. This one swung and missed. That's 1 ball and 1 strike to count here on Norris.
Yeah, as we mentioned in the pregame show, MLB All-Star with the A's in 2014. Played with the Padres for a few years as well, and last year with the Rays.
And that's the one great thing about the Atlantic League. We mentioned 12 former big leaguers on this team, but even with the Atlantic League, it's rare to see a former Major League Baseball All-Star. And that's exactly what Norris is, and he's going to be a phenomenal addition.
Yeah, he's got a power bat. I mean, you just think of all the pitchers he's caught, too, in his time playing for the A's, the Padres, and the Rays. He's got to bring, you imagine, be able to bring a lot to the staff.
Also to the pitching staff as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
The 1-2 from the southpaw Van Hecken. This one chopped foul. That'll be just short of the Bees' dugout and into the first row. Fan makes a nice catch over there. One ball, 2 strikes, 1 out, no score here, bottom of the second. Game 1. Opening day here. If you're just joining us again, happy opening day to you. I'm glad you can join us here on Sweet 96. This one grounded to the left side to short. Former big leaguer Reed Brignac throws it to first. There's 2 away, so that is 5 straight retired to start this one by Van Hecken.
Yeah, since that single to lead off, we've seen a lot of ground balls. As you mentioned, that broke up a strikeout streak of 3 in a row by Van Hecken as well.
That'll bring in Mauricio Ramos, the third baseman, batting 6th in the lineup for the Skeeters.
Now, Ramos not a former major leaguer, but rubbed elbows, you'd imagine, with a ton of them. Played for the Colombian national team in the 2017 World Baseball Classic.
I got to tell you, I'm a huge fan of the World Baseball Classic. Got to work in one of them in 2009 for Team Australia. Went to last year's. Got to go to your hometown, San Diego, see the semifinals. Got to go to the finals and watch Team USA win it for the first time in Dodger Stadium. And I got to tell you, that was just so much fun. I really thought, and people were asking me when I was there because they knew I was an announcer, and I said Puerto Rico. To me, going into the playoff round, Puerto Rico looked like the best team, and Molina really rallied them all. He was just leading that team in a short period of time. They all dyed their hair blonde, and I really thought they were the best all-around team, but Team USA really stepped it up in that championship game, pulled it off, and Adam Jones. I think that's the one thing that's fun about the World Baseball Classic. There are no Yankee fans, Astro fans, Met fans. It's all Team USA. This one swung and a missed, strike 3. That is now 4 strikes. Top of the third, no score between the Battle of the Buzz, the Skeeters and the Bees. First pitch here by Mitch Talbot, the Skeeters righty. Gets it over the outside corner for a strike. 0-1. Bottom of the order, that's a pretty good battle between two former big leaguers. Both have retired 6 up and 6 down. Talbot has allowed 1 hit, got help with a double play. It'll be Hawkins. It will be Connor Bierfeld, Tony Abreu, and James Skelton, 7, 8, and 9 for New Britain. 0-2 now the count here on Bierfeld. This one misses just a little low. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Bierfeld last year for the Bees, 238, but he was tied for 4th in the league in home runs with 23, 64 RBIs. The 1-2 by the Skeeters right-hander. They set up outside. Fastball just misses off the corner. Good placement by Talbot. Tried to get him to chase, but Bierfeld will have no part of it. Number 4 wears his socks high. I like the old school high socks, don't you?
He's got the stripes too. I think like the stirrups. That's the only way to make that one better. But like I agree with you on that one.
The 2-2. Oh, just missed. Just a little low. Thought it had enough of the outside corner, but I guess it was just a drop low. That'll run the count full. 3-2.
Kind of the same pitch. You got Romero to get looking on as well last inning.
First 3-2 count. Talbot has had on a batter. Payoff pitch. This one is on the outside corner. Strike 3. Second K of the day, and there's one away. Oh, still face the minimum 7 to start this one for Talbot, despite the leadoff single in the first. Both strikeouts looking here for Talbot. I'm bringing Tony Abreu, the second baseman, batting here from the left side against the right-handed Talbot. In steps Abreu, slightly open stance from the left side of the box for the switch hitter. Stands with that front foot on his toes. And this one, a fastball, a strike on the outside corner, and Abreu just kicked his head back like, oh, why did I let that go?
Yeah, you're talking about the top of the inning. Not a lot of great swings either, but it's besides the fact that he hasn't let up a hit since the leadoff man, just a lot of flailing.
3-0-1, swung and missed. Way out in front of that one, 0-2. Abreu is a catcher as a youngster and has a pretty good bloodline. I think it came from his mom's side. Tony's mom, Rose Elvira Jimenez, was part of a regional all-star team that won a gold medal in national softball competition in the Dominican Republic. The 0-2 up high, 1-2. In 2005, Tony won the Florida State League batting title, hitting .327 in 96 games, was promoted to Double-A Jacksonville, where he hit .250 that year in 24 games. The 1-2 by Mitch. Swung on a miss, strike 3. Talbot starting to feel it now. 2 straight strikeouts to start the third. He has struck out 3 of the last 4 batters. First via swinging. The 2 outs, none for James Skelton. I said I would get into James. Now listen to this. Not only is it literally okay to say home James because he catches behind home plate, but Skelton is the most unusual catcher perhaps in the history of baseball. And this is not an exaggeration. First of all, he's 5'11" and 165 pounds for a catcher. Usually catchers are stocky, 200-plus pound guys. Secondly, all his numbers are way off for a catcher. So a catcher, you think a guy that bats around 250, has a little bit of pop drives and a run occasionally. Not him. He bats 255, but he had 14 home runs and 33 RBIs. But that is where the normalcy kind of ends. He stole 17 bases last year, which was tied for 13 in the Atlantic League. And this is a guy who has stolen 20-plus on a regular basis. Secondly, he led the league in walks with 101 last year in the Atlantic League. Again, something a catcher does not do. The 1-1 up high, 2-1. He had an on-base percentage, which was also good for second in the Atlantic League at .408. He did, however, strike out quite a bit, also second in the league, this time in Ks at .143. The Atlantic League veteran has spent time with Somerset, Southern Maryland, Lancaster, and these Bees. First season in Atlantic League was back in 2013, 3-1 the count.
Yeah, and right on cue, you mentioned the walks, and he works a 3-1 count. Mitch Talbot seemed to be in a roll right before he faces him, and already you can tell laying off the stuff outside, which he'd been really working well with to get the last few batters out.
3 balls and 1 strike. Surprise, surprise here on Skelton. Swung and fouled straight back right in front of us. That'll run the count full. 3 balls and 2 strikes.
And to help your point, to give you reference, Derek Norris, the Skeeters backstop tonight, 230 pounds. You could say they're two different frames you're working with there.
Tale of 2 tapes, literally. Payoff pitch coming here to Skelton. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. This one on the outside, couldn't. No! Called ball 4? Wow, that is a tough ball 4. Talbot thought he had it. Norris thought he had it. I thought he had it. But the home plate umpire, Jimmy Tatum, said differently. And once again, Skelton draws a walk. And that'll end the string of 7 straight retired by Talbot. First free pass of the night issued by Talbot. They do not happen often. Back to the top of the order of the speedy Darren Ford. Granted, Skelton is on first. You do have to watch him for speed, but Ford will be clogged on the bases if he gets on. This one is a little bit low and in. 1 ball and no strikes. And I mentioned the speed of Darren Ford. The scouting report says he, not occasionally, but has regularly scored from first on a single.
Yeah, I mean, the 3 straight seasons with 60 stolen bases, that blows my mind in the minors. I mean, that means you're getting on a lot to get those chances, and I don't doubt you for a second there. That seems like right in his repertoire.
The 1-0 squares to bunt. A good buncher popped up behind the plate. Norris gives it a look, but that went high into the screen. 1 ball and 1 strike, and I'm just about to get into it. He is also noted to be a very, very good bunter. And I think the most puzzling part of Ford, he was about 4 years into his career when a hitting coach said, hey, you can hit. You don't have to beat out everything with your speed and try to hit it on the ground. You have a good swing, and that's when he really realized that he was a better player than he gave himself credit for, and it really started to pay off for him. 1 ball and 1 strike to count here. Leadoff hitter Darren Ford for the Bees. No score here in the top of the third between the Bees and the Skeeters. Swan hit up the middle, and nice play by the second baseman, Rondon, to second. He was on the shortstop side and flips it to the shortstop, Ryan Jackson, and that'll do it. move to the bottom of the third inning. Still a scoreless contest. Skeeters will try to strike first here in the bottom half of the third inning by sending up the bottom of the order. 7, 8, and 9, Courtney Hawkins, Anthony Jansanti, and Alvaro Rondon. The lefty, Van Hecken, no blemishes on his record. 6 up, 6 down, including 4 strikeouts. First pitch misses here to Hawkins, the Skeeters' right-handed hitting designated hitter. 1 ball and no strikes. And you got to think, Ryan, first outing of the year for both of these pitchers, somewhere between 60 and 80 pitches. I got to think, in very short spring training here in the Atlantic League, just 10 days. This one swung and a missed on a ball low and away to the right-handed hitting designated hitter. 1-1.
Well, if that's the case, that'll surely favor the Skeeters, who are carrying 17 pitchers, 1 inactive tonight, Matt Sergi, so 16 active tonight. That they'll have plenty of help in the bullpen.
This one hit high and deep in the air to left center field, going back to the track, to the wall, and this one is off the top of the wall around second base. Hawkins heading the third, and he's going to go for the inside Parker Hill on opening day. Here comes the throw, he's safe for the plate. And inside the Parker, the first one ever here at Constellation Field. Wow, what a start to the Skeeters season. The Skeeters have only had 1 inside the Parker by Denny Almonte, and that was on the road. This is the first ever inside the Parker by a Skeeters player here at home. Doesn't get any more exciting than that. In NHL, they say the penalty shot is the most exciting. That is baseball's most exciting play.
And we're just going to get into how exciting of a player Hawkins is going to be, a former 13th overall pick in the draft. Homered in spring training out here in an inter-squad game, and the first swing of the bat he takes goes in the gap.
This one hit deep to center field, backing up as the center fielder at the wall, leaping, and this one is off the top of the wall again. This is going to be a triple here for the speedy Jansanti. So after 6 up, 6 down, we have an inside the park home run and a triple. I don't know if we've ever seen that in the history of baseball.
Just got to get the double and the single now. We can complete the cycle for the inning.
I really thought Jansanti had it. It is extremely difficult to hit it to dead center field here in Constellation Field. And also, most people don't know this, the batter's eye, which is attached to the center field shot, if it hits the batter's eye, it is not a home run. It is in play. So you have to hit it not only over the wall in dead center, but over the batter's eye. And
yeah.
Jansanti with a great season last year, and his first at bat starting where he left off.
Almost identical plays, too. You saw it hit off the top of the wall like that.
In steps Alvaro Rondon and fouls this one off to the left side. Slow roller right in front of the Bees dugout. No balls and 1 strike to count. So 1-0 Skeeters on an inside the park home run. Skeeters with a chance for another run here with Jansanti at third and nobody out here in the bottom of the third. Mentioned 60 pitches. Van Hecken was cruising. Right now, just 31 pitches. This is skied into right field. This should be plenty deep for Jansanti. Darren Ford in right center does not have a good arm. Jansanti will score easily. No throw, and it is 2-0 Sugar Land. A sac fly RBI. First RBI of the season for Rondon. Now what a start here in the third after a perfect first 2 innings by Van Hecken, striking out 4 over the first 2 innings. And a home run here by Hawkins, the inside the Parker, a triple, now a sac fly. We go back to the top of the order with the Atlantic League veteran and former Atlantic League Player of the Year, Wellington Dotel, who bunts down the first base side, but it goes foul. He tries to bunt his way on. Now, Dotel is, not your normal slugging MVP. He hits for a good average, has plenty of speed, drives in a decent amount of runs for a guy who doesn't hit a lot of home runs, but really he does everything very well. Very good outfielder as well, and a good arm playing right field for the Skeeters here on opening day. This one grounded to the left side, through for a base hit. And you might be right, just a double short of the cycle here in the third now.
We're approaching it. I mean, you certainly got the pieces here with Ryan Jackson, Barrett Barnes, and Matt Chavez coming up. Guys who have found the gap plenty of times in their career.
So 2 in, it is 2-0 Skeeters. 1 on, 1 out for the former big leaguer Ryan Jackson, who struck out his first time up. He is 0 for 1. Jackson, before the Skeeters got him last year, began the season with the Marlins at the big leagues. Last year spent time at AAA with Seattle, also with the Nationals and the Marlins. And throw to first, Dotel gets back. Jackson's still waiting for the first pitch here. Began last year with the Skeeters. Well, I shouldn't say began. When he joined the Skeeters, went 5 for 13 with a home run and 3 RBIs, then was quickly signed by the Mariners. So, you know, another great thing about the Atlantic League, sometimes guys get in and out of here really quick, and I think we're going to see more than in a year. And you know the story with all the free agents, all those mid-range players that, you know, would normally get millions and millions of dollars. Major League teams didn't want to spend. Of course, you're going to spend on your stars. They're going to get the big $100 million contracts. And there goes Dotel. The throw into second is in time. Dotel did not get a good jump, and he is caught stealing. So 2 down as Dotel is gunned down. 2 outs and none on now for Ryan Jackson. But you're going to see plenty of guys who would normally be in the big leagues that are here in the Atlantic League, and they'll get back. There'll be injuries. There'll be lots of other things going on, late signings. What Tony Batista signed over the last few weeks, and how is that guy still out there? And there's a lot of guys. I mean, there's literally probably 100 guys still out there. Popped up to the right of home. James Skelton will be called off at the last second by the first baseman Galvez to the right of first and foul territory for.
Know exactly where I stand. This world is forcing me to hold your hand. 'Cause I'm just a girl, a little lonely. Well, don't let me out of your sight. Oh, I'm just a girl, open in the dreams. Oh, don't let me hide in your eyes.
We move to the top half of the 4th inning. Skeeters now with a 2-0 lead here. 1 ball and 1 strike to count. Talbot now has a lead to work with for the first time. Daryl Siciliani batting here. 1 ball and 2 strikes to count. Grounded into a double play, got Talbot out of a little bit of jam after the leadoff single in the first. He's 0 for 1. Skeeters up 2-0, 2 runs on 3 hits. The Bees no runs on 1. No errors on either side of the ledger for both of these squads. 1-2 by the Skeeters right-hander. Misses a little bit low and in. 2 balls and 2 strikes to count. Talbot gets a sign here from Norris. The 2-2. This one high and tight, almost hit. Siciliani. I'll run the count full, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Bad pitch by Talbot, swung and chopped over his head behind second. Ryan Jackson, and by the time he threw that one, the shortstop was on the second base side. It's a nice play, throws out Siciliani. 6-3 on the putout. If it wasn't for that walk, that would now be, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 in a row, but instead it's 9 of his last 10. Jonathan Galvez will step in. He grounded back to Talbot to end the first. 2-0 Skeeters in front here in the top half of the 4th inning. Trying to win for the 3rd consecutive time on opening day. Skeeters are 4-2 in opening day nods. Year number 7 of the Skeeters franchise. Hard to believe. I've been here for all 7, along with a handful of my coworkers. Talbot wheels and fires. They'll set up outside, and this one swung and belted into left center field. That's going to fall in for a hit. Nice play by Barrett Barnes. Cuts it off in the left center field gap and holds Galvez to a very long single. Only the 2nd hit of the night for the Bees. 1 on, 1 out for former big leaguer Reed Brignac. Brignac backs from the left side here. Reed, a switch hitter. And really has quite the big league resume. Former 2nd round pick in 2004. And a high school, St. Amant in Louisiana. He actually committed to play for Louisiana State, but was drafted by the Rays. Hard to pass up a 2nd round pick and the money that comes with that. First pitch swung and missed. The ball in the dirt, no balls and 1 strike to count. During his high school senior year, he hit a impressive .417, 11 home runs, 58 RBIs, and helped his team win the state 5A championship. Forego that scholarship to sign with the Rays. In his very first game as a pro, Reed hit a home run, drove in 5 runs for Princeton in West Virginia. In the Devil Rays system, his first full season at .264, 15 home runs, 61 RBIs in 127 games for Southwest Michigan. Throw to first. Getting back, standing up is Jonathan Galvez. Well, his 2nd year was also impressive for Brignac in the Cal League. In Visalia, .326, 21 home runs, 83 RBIs in 100 games, was named the Cal League Rookie of the Year and Most Valuable Player. Don't see that too often. The 0-1. This one a strike on the outside corner, 0-2.
Yeah, one thing about Brignac stands out too. Part of that 2011 Rays team. I remember it was dubbed Wild Card Wednesday when the Rays miraculously entered the postseason. Red Sox missed out at the last minute. He was a part of that team. Remember Dan Johnson and Evan Longoria with the home runs. That must have been a pretty fun game to be a part of in that dugout, I'd imagine.
Don't you think it's strange to have a Rookie of the Year in the minor leagues? Almost everybody on the team is at that level for the first year.
And you figure guys pass through just as quickly as they get there a lot of the time.
Yep, this one down low in the dirt, blocked by Norris. Nice stop by the Skeeters backstop. 1 ball and 2 strikes to count here on Brignac. But still, Rookie of the Year and MVP. It's only happened twice in the big leagues. Fred Lynn and Ichiro. Aaron Judge almost pulled that off last year. That same year in 2006 for Brignac, he finished the year at AA Montgomery and hit well there as well, and even 303 home runs, 16 RBIs in 28 games. Combined totals between Advanced A and AA, 321, 24 home runs, and 99 RBIs. Check swing tack back to Talbot. He's going to go to second for 1, and that's all they're getting. Great play by Talbot. Couldn't hesitate for a second, and he didn't, and gets the force out.
It's like Jackson may have had a little bit of trouble getting that one out of his glove, but Brignac runs well as well. So no telling if he was going to beat that one out anyways.
So 1-6 on the fielder's choice. 2 outs, 1 on now. That'll bring in the cleanup hitter, Davidson Romero. Romero was the first strikeout victim by Talbot. He's 0 for 1. Now he doesn't quite wear those pants Manny Ramirez style over his heels, although pretty much there now. Started out, well, they are over the heels now, but those pants are certainly baggy.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned Manny Ramirez. His son, Manny Ramirez Jr., not active for this series, as we know, but on the team, signed right now, so at some point we might see him down the road this season.
There are rumors we may see Manny Ramirez Sr. playing a game with his son. That would be the third father-son combo in Atlantic Lake history. Of course, two of them, the only two, Skeeters, Roger and Kobe Clemens here in year one. And then Patrick, of course, Skeeters' third baseman a few years ago, and Rafael Palmero played in a game together here a couple years ago as well.
That'd be something, seeing Manny Ramirez back in the baseball field. I think that'd be must-watch TV, radio, get to the ballpark, all the above.
No balls and one strike to count. They're going to set up outside here, the 0-1. Good off-speed pitch, just misses a little low and away. 1 ball and 1 strike to count. Skeeters leading 2-0 here in the top half of the fourth inning. There are 2 runs in the third and an inside the park home run and a sac fly. Talbot keeping an eye on Brignac at first. And now they're going to have him picked up between first and second. He was leaning, and they got him. Nice move by the Skeeters right-hander, and the throw back to first will get him. That'll go 1-3-6-3. Got to work out the kinks on opening night, Posner. It'll be Barrett Barnes, the Sugarland native, Matt Chavez, and big leaguer Derek Norris. First pitch is popped up right side. Tony Abreu, the second baseman, calling for it. Now he does not have it, and the first baseman wisely all the way towards second base. I mean, literally a few steps from second baseman, heads up by Jonathan Galvez, brings it down for out number 1. Otherwise, it could have been a disaster. And this is the tough part of that Constellation Field twilight, and the second baseman Abreu just lost it.
I mean, I don't think you ever saw that one. You could tell right from when that ball was in the air, he had both hands up, and you could tell Barrett Barnes just missed that one, because that was a major league pop-up right there. That was high in the sky.
So 1 out, none on here for the Skeeters cleanup hitter. First baseman, the right-hander hitting Matt Chavez. Chavez 0 for 1. He struck out against Van Hecken his first time up. First pitch, and off-speed pitch catches the outside corner for a strike. No balls and 1 strike to count. One out, none on. Skeeters leading 2-0 here in the bottom half of the fourth. This one a little bit high and outside. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out here in the bottom half of the fourth inning. Skeeters up 2-0. The 0-1. This one, hot shot to short. Backhanded on a tough short hop by Brignac at short. Throws it to first. Route number 2. What a play by the former big leaguer.
That's one thing that both these teams feature is shortstops that have played in the majors. We have Ryan Jackson, Reed Brignac, obviously a premium position where defense is a must-have, and you can tell right there, Brignac playing it off his left side there, had it all the way. That's a nice pickup.
So 2 outs and none on here for former big league all-star and Skeeters catcher, the right-hander hitting Derek Norris. Norris grounded out to short his first time up. He is 0 for 1. The southpaw, long look in on the first pitch here to Norris. Fastball catches the outside corner for a strike on the right-handed hitter. No balls and 1 strike. 2 outs, none on. Bottom of the 4th. Skeeters up 2-0. And I think this is the first signs of maybe a little fatigue here by Van Hecken. There's 3 signs you look for, Ryan. And that's a guy taking a lot longer between pitches, when his pitches are high in the zone or low, meaning high meaning he's overthrowing, trying to throw a little bit too hard because he's fatigued, or holding onto the ball a little bit too long and ball's in the dirt. So far that is sign number 1. The other 2 are not apparent as of yet. The 0-2, check swing in the dirt, gets away momentarily by the catcher, James Skelton. 1 ball and 2 strikes to count.
And being fatigued, running into Derek Norris, that's not another matchup you want as well. Obviously, Mauricio Ramos and Courtney Hawkins looming too, so dangerous part of the order coming up right here.
Not only 43 pitches for Van Hecken, he still has not thrown double digits in balls. That last pitch was the 9th ball. Now, ball number 10 here, high and tight, almost hit Norris. That's a pretty good ratio. Just short of 4 to 1. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2-0. Sugar Land in front here in the bottom of the 4th for the season opener. Opening day here at Constellation Field. This one low and in. How to run the count full. 3 balls and 2 strikes here on Derek Norris.
Growing up in San Diego, watching the Padres, Derek had the nickname, I think he gave it to himself, as Norrisaurus Rex. I don't know if he's going to roll with that one out in Sugar Land. I'll have to ask him at some point. That was quite the nickname, though.
Payoff pitch here to Norris. Swung on, popped up. This one going to be over our heads and on the roof. Count remains full 3-2.
Remember, he also had one for Blue Jays third baseman Jan Hervis Solarte, and gave him Jan Hervis Slowarte, who was also there both in the Padres back in the 2015 season.
Pitch number on the 7 on the way here. This one swung and a hot shot down the third baseline, just foul. We will see an 8 pitch. How about Brandon Belt, a major league record 21 pitch at bat last week.
That was probably one of the few times where
both benches were clapping. I've never seen anything like it.
And you saw him getting fist bumps in the dugout after that ended in a strikeout for a Belt.
I mean, that's a full inning for a pitcher he used on 1 hitter.
Exactly. That's why you see guys giving him fist bumps, because he was doing the dirty work for them, seeing a bunch of pitches and kind of wearing them down.
You can see Van Hecken kind of stretching out his back a little bit. Another fatigue sign here in his first start of the year. Pitch number 9 here. Swung and a missed, strike 3. So Van Hecken wins that battle. Mitch Talbot back to work for his 5th inning. All right, here in the top half of the 5th, Talbot will face Davidson Romero, Angeles Nina, and Connor Bierfeld, 5, 6, and 7. First pitch, a little high and tight, 1 ball and no strikes to count. And it's almost time for this day in baseball history, Mr. History Buff, as I am as well. I love baseball history.
Me as well. As you can tell, dropping some little nuggets all night.
This one swung and fouled off to the right side. 1 ball and 1 strike. And we're trying to get to that right after the at bat here to Davidson Romero. .52 pitches, 32 for strikes right now. This one is down low. 2 balls and 1 strike.
But you look at the last 6 starts, he was 6 innings plus as he finished on the stretch, and we mentioned already the good stats, the 4-0 record, 1.62 ERA, so obviously a guy who they're going to look to work in a lot.
The 2-1. This one check swing foul down the left side. Oh, 2-2 the count. Skeeters leading 2-0 here in the top half of the 5th inning. This one is grounded to the left side and dropped by the Skeeters' third baseman, Ramos. Now, it would have been a tough play for Ryan Jackson deep in the hole. Ramos tried to cut it off and went off his mitt. We'll see how they score that one. Most likely an error, I think.
That's Ramos' first chance of the season right there. Kind of just kicked off the glove, but yeah, it was hit pretty lightly. No play for Jackson, it looked like.
Since I didn't get any lamb rolls, I'll go get some.
2-0 Sugarland in front, 2 runs, 3 hits, and that is indeed an error. An E5, 1 on, none out here for Angeles Nina. Righty-righty matchup for Talbot. This one is a little bit low. 1 ball and no strikes to count. .56 pitches now for Mitch, 34 for strikes, 22 for balls. As I mentioned, 2 runs on 3 hits, 1 error for Sugarland, no runs, 2 hits, and no E's for the Bees. We'll set up inside, throw to first. Getting back easily, standing up is Romero. So that good move by Talbot as he picked off Reed Brignac to end last inning in the 4th. Brignac and Talbot former teammates with the Rays, the then Tampa Bay Devil Rays.
Absolutely, 2008, they both broke in that same year. You saw them kind of hug each other, a little embrace. I'm sure it was nice to see each other again.
Swan and missed.
Sure, they probably didn't expect to see each other in this setting at some point in their careers, both with MLB stints, but I'm sure that was very nice for them.
You know, it's interesting you bring that up. I can't remember really ever a bench clearing brawl in 7 years here, and I think it's because of those reasons. All of these guys have played with or against each other at some level in some point in their careers.
Yeah, you imagine playing in the minors like they probably did coming up the same year. You build that camaraderie on the road all the time. I'm sure that you build a lot of that friendship.
Swan hit to third. Another chance for Ramos. He goes to second for 1. The reel into first in time. So makes up for the E and quickly turns an E into a DP. They'll go down 5-4-3.
Yeah, they say after you make an error, usually the ball will make its way back to you in the not-too-distant future, and Ramos with a nice play right there off to his glove side.
Didn't take very long, did it?
No.
Was it 2 pitches later?
Yeah, well, that one not hit very hard as well. It hit a little bit harder than the one, his first try, which he was given the error on.
Linsap's Connor Bierfeld for the Bees with 2 outs and now none on. Skeeters leading 2-0 here in the top half of the 5th inning.
Yeah, we're noting it took Mitch Talbot 3 starts to get through 5 innings in last season, so now he's 1 out away from getting there on opening day in 2018.
Great point. This one is a strike on the outside corner, no balls and 1 strike. Skeeters score both of their runs in the 3rd inning. A sac fly following an inside the park home run, the first ever here at Constellation Field for Sugarland or anybody. 1 ball and 1 strike to count. It was actually a steal of home by one of the Southern Maryland players who later became their manager here a few years ago. It's very close. As far as excitement, this one is smashed into left field. Will this get into the corner? No. Again, Barnes cuts it off, and rounding first, big turn, puts on the brakes, is Bierfeld. And that is just the 3rd hit of the night for the Bees here against Talbot. No action in the Skeeters pen, so Talbot's going to be out there for at least the end of this inning and possibly one more. And you think if he gets through the 6th unscathed, that'll probably be it, you have to think.
Yeah. I mean, we talked about it a little bit earlier being opening day, and I mean the fact that they're carrying 6.
Unsteps the switch, hitting Tony Abreu. First pitch, this one belted down the right field line. This one is going to get into the corner. We'll see if they can keep Bierfeld from scoring here. And they're going to round third, and they are not going to come close to get him. He slides in just ahead of the throw. Just like that, it's 2-1, and maybe the first signs of fatigue for Talbot on the RBI double by Abreu. His first RBI of the season.
Maybe I jinxed him a little bit there. I said he took him 3 starts to get to the 5-inning mark last season. At 4 2/3 was the highest he got, and here he sits at 4 2/3 looking for this.
Congratulations on being the broadcaster kiss of death. If you
know,
say it as a broadcaster, it will happen. And I think this is now a stall tactic to get some action in the bullpen. Pitching coach Corey Dommel also coming up. Remember, they've made such a big deal about the 6 visits in the major leagues, the first time they're trying it, but it's been done in this league for 2 years now, and the better thing is that there's only 2 visits. The 6 visits is an absolute waste of time in the big leagues. There is no difference between 6 visits and not having a rule at all. Nobody will come close, as you have seen so far, to using 6. 2 works fine. They adapted to it immediately. Catchers and pitchers figure out another way to give signals, and it's just going to be a very quick visit to the mound for Corey Dommel.
Yeah, but you mentioned it. I've seen extra inning games this season where they didn't even get close to meeting those 6 meetings to the mound. So yeah, you touched on it. I don't think that's making too much of a difference, but obviously you got to start somewhere, and it's nice to see that they're looking to minimize those in some way.
Greg Sitton, the southpaw, warming up in the Skeeters pen right now. Talbot, 62 pitches, 39 for strikes. And steps the number 9 hitter, the famed James Skelton. I'll set up outside. The first pitch here is a strike on the outside corner, 0-1. So the 40th strike of the evening for the Skeeters right-hander Mitch Talbot.
So another thing about this bullpen, there's no shortage of lefties. I mean, you have Paco Rodriguez, Danny Runzler, Hunter Cervenka, and Craig Sitton. I mean, that's a wealth. As a manager, you got to love that, I'm sure.
Usually you're struggling for lefty relievers out of the bullpen. The Skeeters have 4 studs. Big looping curve. Skelton waited on it nicely, fouls it down the left side, goes the other way. The catcher hitting here. A left-handed hitting catcher from Upland, California. He's down in the count. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Runner down at second, the tying run. The Skeeters and Talbot allowing a run here in the top of the 5th. They're still leading, however, 2-1. The 0-2 from the former big leaguer. This one misses a little high and tight. 1 ball and 2 strikes to count. Remember, fireworks after the game here, so stick around here if you're Constellation Field, and if you're within looking distance of Constellation Field, you might want to catch them from outside the ballpark as well. Not too late to come to the game and catch them from the inside. Always better to work from the inside. Whether you're looking for a job or you're a pitcher, or you just want to see some fireworks. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, runner at second, 2-1 the Skeeters in front here in the top half of the 5th inning. The 2-2. This one up high. Gonna run the count full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. No 4, so Abreu will remain at first. Talbot looks in and now taking a little too long. Not a true sign of fatigue here for Talbot.
Now Skelton's your guy. Do you see batting him ninth with the speed he has too? You know, manager like to do the double leadoff hitters. Do you think that's something Wally Backman may have had in his mind, batting him ninth to opening day here?
Perhaps not really the ideal leadoff hitter. He gets on base a lot. You know, after the lineup flips over once, it's basically a second leadoff hitter. Good point. As I mentioned, has a knack for getting on base. Led the Atlantic League last year with 101 walks. That's just 8 off the league record. The payoff pitch by Talbot. This one on the outside corner, strike 3. He got the benefit last. Out there, do it along with me. Ryan's doing it right here in the booth, and it's impressive. I mean, it's not your standard, you know, go through the motions YMCA. I mean, standing, big Y, big M, big C, and a big A.
Only one way to do it.
0-1 the count here as the Skeeters will try to get a little bit of that insurance back. They were up 2-0 now, 2-1 here in the bottom of the 5th. It'll be 6, 7, and 8. Mauricio Ramos, Courtney Hawkins, and Anthony Jansanti. A left-hander. Andy Van Hecken still on the hill for these Bees. No balls and 2 strikes on Ramos, who struck out his first time out. 2 runs on 3 hits for your Skeets, 1 and 4 for the Bees. Skeeters 1 miscue, the Bees none. Swan and missed in the dirt, dropped by the catcher. Skelton will fire down to first. That is the 6th strikeout of the night for Van Hecken. 2-3 on the putout. 1 out, none on here for Courtney Hawkins, who may have had the most exciting hit in Skeeters history. The first ever inside the park home run here at Constellation Field. Only one other in Skeeters history on the road, Denny Almonte, and then Bridgeport a few years ago.
They added the club. He's actually spent some time at the AA level with the White Sox this year, only a handful of games.
First pitch in the dirt, 1 ball and no strikes here on Hawkins.
And a funny note on Courtney Hawkins, came into the office a few days ago, got to meet him, shook my hand. Hand was still hurting a few minutes later. Quite a strong grip, big fella as well, a lot of power. We obviously saw that in his first at bat.
Got that G.I. Joe Kung Fu grip.
Absolutely. I was sitting there at my desk. I'm like, my hand was still hurting a little bit there, and It was the Courtney Hawkins handshake that did it.
It's better the opposite, what they call the dead fish.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
weak handshake.
Definitely.
The 2-0. This one swung and it hit into the left center field gap. Gonna fall in for a base hit. Dropped pretty quickly. The left fielder gets there easily.
Yeah, it looked like that one might have been heading for the gap there off the end of the bat, possibly. Kind of died out there in front of the left fielder, but another hit for Courtney Hawkins. First Skeeter of the season with a multi-hit game, and his first game as a Skeeter, too.
The lefty looks in here for the sign. This one is low and in. Ball 1-0 on Jansent, who fouled it inside the Parker with the triple.
Yeah, quite the duo. 1-2 punch at the bottom of the order here.
Not bad for 7-8 hitters. Done all the damage.
And Rondon also with the sac fly. That ball was struck fairly well. As you mentioned there, very well deep enough to get the run in.
Low 1-0. That's when low and away. Jansenti, a very interesting article written about him years ago. The article was titled, "If You Want to Get to the Big Leagues, Room with Anthony Jansenti." On the Cubs organization, he had 7 roommates, all the big stars. Addison Russell, Chris Bryant, all became big leaguers.
Now the funniest part of that story was that they said he didn't cook or anything. So you wonder, it really was just having him having his presence around. He wasn't the exemplary roommate, just having him there.
Gotten to know Anthony over the last year plus. Great guy. And I can see why you would want to room with him. He was an all-star here for the Skeeters last year. And really the first time in his career, he had a chance to play every day. And he hit .276, 9 home runs, 54 RBIs, 31 steals. Really had a great year.
Yeah, he had a hit streak as well, 26 games.
Yep.
Franchise record.
This one is a strike at the knees, 3-1. Jansenti taking all the way there. Led the Skeeters with 127 hits last year as well. Started in center field on opening day, but he played just about everywhere last year. Played a few positions in the outfield, played short, second, even third. Very versatile guy. In fact, I'll throw to first here. Theo Epstein, of course, the GM now of the Cubs, he personally spoke to Jansenti and said, "Hey, we're moving in a new direction. It was a couple years before they won the World Series. You have done a great job. I feel bad, but we have to release you." And Theo Epstein's not just saying, "Hey, you're released, see ya," and he's telling you that. You're a big part of the organization. Of course, that shift led to the 108-year jinx being broke, and that is ball 4. And here comes Wally Backman. And it looks like they're going to go to the bullpen here. And they will, so that is going to be all here for Mr. Van Hecken, who did really have a heck of a night. We'll find out who the new pitcher is when we return. Tell you all about him. Skeeters leading 2-1, threatening for more with runners on first and second, and one away. Back in a moment.
Sweet 96 is a brand new radio station designed just to serve Sugar Land and Fort Bend County. But we can't build the best without your help. Spread the word about our good work and we'll do the same. Like us on Facebook at Sweet 96 FM or drop us an email at our website, sweet96.com. Together, we will build a better city and Fort Bend County. If it's important to you, it's important to us at the all-new Sweet 96.
Are you buying or selling a home in Longmeadow Farms, Aliana, Waterside Estates, Pecan Grove, New Territory, Greatwood, or Harvest Green? Depend on Kim Halstead and Coldwell Banker United Realtors at 281-777-1907. A multi-million-dollar producer and Fort Bend County real estate expert, Kim is uniquely qualified with a proven track record of success and almost 20 years of satisfied customers. Kim Halstead and Coldwell Banker United Realtors, 281-777-1907.
Has your home or commercial insurance claim been denied or underpaid? At Morgan Elite Specialist Services, we know that the insurance claim process can be stressful. Our public adjusters have the experience to make this process as smooth, easy, and comfortable as possible, so you can get on with enjoying the things you're protecting. Learn more by visiting us online at messtx.com. That's MESSTX.com. Or call us today at 855-445-3404. We truly look forward to meeting you.
We are Salon Abbott and Day Spa. Go Skeeters!
All right, Ira, back here at Constellation Field. Tyler Higgins going to take the mound for the Bees. 6'3", 215-pound right-hander from Shepherd, Michigan. Drafted by the Marlins in the 23rd round of the 2011 draft. Last year with AA Jacksonville, 34 games, one start, 3-3 with a 3.43 ERA.
Now 2 on, 1 out. Skeeters number 9 hitter, Alvaro Rondon, will step in, takes first pitch for a strike on the inside corner, fastball. No balls and 1 strike to count. Skeeters up 2-1 here, trying to add to that lead. They led 2-0 before the top half of this inning when the Bees drove 1 in. Rondon just rolls off the tongue, doesn't it? The 0-1. Big bender. That one misses a little bit inside. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Again, Skeeters up 2-1. Both teams now with 4 hits. Skeeters with runners on first and second. Courtney Hawkins at second. Jan Santry just walked on at first. Rondon, bit of a crouch from the left side of the box. Another big curveball. This one catches the inside corner for a strike.
You talk about the speed on the for the Bees with the Ford. Rondon last year, the Texas Air Hogs, 60 stolen bases in 86 games. So
wow.
he was moving quite a lot.
Rondon, a switch hitter, batting here from the left side against the right-hander, Tyler Higgins. The 1-2. This one swung and missed. Couldn't catch up with the fastball. First strike hit for Higgins. Now 2 on with 2 out, and the Skeeters leading 2-1 as we go back to the top of the order with Wellington Dotel. Nice to have him on the Skeeters side for a change. He has toured up this league for a few years now.
Worth noting too with Higgins, he's got the CC Sabathia almost sideways hat look going there. Not quite the full tilt, but he's got like we'll go with like a 3/4 tilt.
Lefties claim that they need to tilt because the hat gets in the way, but what excuse would a righty have?
Swag, maybe he worked for them, got the first out there, I guess.
Well, in steps Wellington. First pitch swung and missed. A ball that was low and way outside. Went down to one knee, almost screwed himself into the ground.
Safe to say he was probably guessing fastball there.
Just a little out in front. Flew to center his first time up. Singled his last time up, but was caught stealing. No balls and 1 strike to count. Skeeters are leading 2-1. Swung and a miss again. Fell for the same pitch. Ball low and away, this time in the dirt. 0-2. Now, if you're Higgins, you have to go further and lower away on that same slider.
Yeah, I don't see why you don't stray there with an 0-2 count as well. A couple balls to work with.
Yeah, ball comes on the field. Skeeters' third base coach, Lincoln Gums, who goes by Juice, will get one of the beach balls that came down here to start the game as part of a tradition of the last few years at Constellation Field.
Someone in those seats, right over there. Next time I see Mac, I'm gonna be like, give me your number because you're coming with me.
If it was ladies' night, they'd want it to rain men, but it's raining beach balls here.
Yeah, that's the problem. Fly your ass home.
That was quite a spectacle to open the game. That was pretty cool for my first one out here.
The 0-2, same pitch. This one grounded the third, right at the third baseman Romero. He'll step on the third base pillow. 3-1 strike at the walk ratio. Top of the order. We'll have to be careful with the very speedy Darren Ford to lead off. Followed by Daryl Siciliani. And then Jonathan Galvez, 1, 2, and 3 against Sitton, making his Skeeters debut here. And Craig here is out of the Roger Clemens School of Naming His Kids. He spells Craig with a K. As you know, all the Clemens boys, including Kobe, who is a Skeeter, and had the Skeeter single season home run record for a while. Kobe with a K, as the rest of the Clemens boys. No balls and 1 strike to count here on Ford. He has singled and grounded out. He's 1 for 2. The 0-1 right down the middle for a strike. No balls and 2 strikes to count.
I remember growing up, they told you if you want to look tall, you wear high socks. If you wanted to, not look taller or just whatever, you wear your low pants. Sitting already at 6'5" and rocking the high socks, he's a pretty imposing figure out there.
A 6-inch mound. You're talking about just short of 7 feet out there. Gets on you a little quicker. The 0-2. And I'm not exaggerating when I say Ford crowds the plate any closer, he'd be standing on home plate from the right side. Well, technically, you're not supposed to be on that line just to the left of home plate, but he is almost over the border.
Getting him that head start towards first base, all that speed.
Swan and foul down the right side. 1 ball and 2 strikes to count. Skeeters leading 2-1 here in the top half of the 6th, trying to win for the 3rd straight time on opening night. Not in the same season, that would be difficult. Sitting a long look in here, pitching from the stretch with nobody on. They set up inside, the 1-2 way inside, shuffles the feet of Ford. 2 balls and 2 strikes to count.
Oregon State alum too. They had quite a season last year. They were atop the college baseball rankings at one point. So I'm sure Craig Sitton had quite a time watching his alumni or his former school do pretty well.
Now he'd have to be a little bit lucky. We say it's better to be lucky than good. In his first full season in 2011, while with Asheville in the South League, he was 7-1, phenomenal record. But he had a 4.59 ERA, so I got to think he got some help.
Yeah, and you imagine that's one of the stats, wins and losses that are being scrutinized a lot lately.
Yep. The 2-2. Swan and chopped to short. They're going to have to hurry. Jackson charges, fires it to first, gets him by a full stride. Speedy Ford really picks him up and lays him down. Another 6-3 put out, and he grounds into. So he's 1 for 3 now with a single and 2 ground outs to short. Well, Siciliani has hit into a double play and grounded out, so in 2 at-bats he's made 3 outs.
Ryan Jackson really, with all the speed that Ford brings to the table, he looked really smooth, kept his composure there. Didn't look like he was rushed whatsoever.
Every time I hear that word, I think of old school with Will Ferrell when he's the mascot and he goes through the flaming hoop and he catches on. So he's like, we have to keep our composure.
Oh, yes, old school. That's a classic one for sure.
Swan in the dirt. As Norris tries to slap at it to his left. Take it in the face. 1 ball and no strikes.
Pulling on my heartstrings too there with the Will Ferrell reference. Obviously, Anchorman being a San Diego resident, or former San Diego resident, that's one of the all-time favorites.
A couple of years ago on the bus, we were watching that on one of the road trips, and at the very beginning, he's warming up as this one has popped up left side. Should make the seats. Does. Just to our left. Still haven't caught a ball up there. Needed a bigger hop to come up here. But he's warmed up and he's going, ah! Ah! One of our pitchers sat behind me. He's like, oh, that's the way you warm up? I was like, does it everybody?
Yeah, I was wondering why you're yelling in the booth, or I guess that was it.
Now you know, and knowing is half the battle. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Skeeters leading 2-1 here in the top of the 6th. Strike catches the inside corner, 1 and 2.
Interesting note on Siciliani, too, from Madras, Oregon. Same hometown as Jacoby Ellsbury, the Yankees outfielder.
Yeah, I caught that. Lefty-lefty matchup. They'll set up inside. The 1-2. Swanee hit right toward short. Jackson Adam played perfectly. The Skeeter shortstop just to the left and behind second. The old Adam ball hit right at him. Second straight 6-3 put out. 2 outs, none on here for Jonathan Galvez. And so far, sitting very impressive.
Yeah, and on that play in particular, that's one thing talking to Pete Incaviglia before the season started, he really was going to stress on the shifts. Like, that was going to be something he was going to use, and we've seen a couple times tonight, like that one there in particular too, where, you know, right place at the right time for the Skeeters infielders.
You mentioned that with the right-handed hitter up here. Jackson very deep at short. This one swung and foul back, grounded to the screen. No balls and 1 strike to count. 2-1, Skeeters in front. Galvez has grounded out to first and singled his last time up. 1 of 4 hits for the Bees. Both teams with 4 hits apiece. 2-1, Skeeters in front. The 0-1. Fastball a little bit low and outside. 1 ball and 1 strike. Sitton looks in for the sign. Dangles that left arm of his. They're going to set up outside again, the 1-1. Fastball strike on the inside corner, 1-2 the count. Galvez, the right-handed hitting first baseman. A little bit of bend in the knees and an open stance from the right side. The 1-2 by Sitton. This one way inside as Galvez lifts up the hands and ducks back the knees. Galvez, 11th season as a pro. First with the Bees, 4th season in the Atlantic League with the Bluefish from 2015 to 2017. This one a little number right side of the mound past Sitton. This could be a base hit, charging as Rendon. The throw to first, not in time. Good effort by Rendon, but when it got past Sitton, that was going to be Sitton for a base hit. The old infield single, just a little squibber.
Yeah, Galvez, a first baseman now. Used to actually be a middle infielder in the Padres system. You kind of saw him picking him up, putting him down there. Moved pretty well.
Bring up the cleanup hitter, Reed Brignac. Grounded out to second, hit into a fielder's choice last time up, and that was picked off by his former big league teammate, Mitch Talbot. Speaking of Mitch, didn't get a chance to dive into his numbers. Had a good night on opening night, 5 innings, just 4 hits, 1 run. It was not earned, 1 walk and 4 strikeouts. A nice opening day start for Mitch. This one swung on and popped up. Shallow center field. Ryan Jackson, the Skeeter shortstop, will squeeze it. Brought to you by Texas State Technical College in Fort Bend County. Make your own history by earning your associate's degree at TSTC. Visit tstc.edu to learn more, as Ryan Jackson will lead off for the Skeeters, leading 2-1. It'll be Jackson, Barrett Barnes, and Matt Chavez, 2, 3, and 4. First pitch is outside 1-0. Tyler Higgins on for his second inning of work. Well, on this day in baseball history, April 27, 1971, Hank Aaron joined Babe Ruth and Willie Mays as the third ever member of the 600 home run club. His home run went over the left field wall against the Giants at Atlanta's Fulton County Stadium. Famed Astros broadcaster Milo Hamilton, who was the Braves broadcaster at the time, was on the call for the home run. Let's look at this day in baseball history, brought to you by Texas State Technical College.
Anytime you can get Hank Aaron, Willie Mays, and Babe Ruth in one history nugget, I think you did a good job there.
This one sky deep to center field. Going back is Siciliani, and he brings it down in deep center for out number one. Yeah, I had this great picture of Hank Aaron, Willie Mays, and Roberto Clemente. One picture.
Wow, doesn't get much better than that, really.
Nope.
Oh,
Barrett Barnes will step in. He's 0 for 2.
Let's have them in an outfield together, man. Cover some serious ground.
Barnes has struck out and popped out to first. 0 for 2. 1 out, none off for the Skeeters here in the bottom of the 6th. They're still leading 2-1. Guess we shouldn't be shocked. Two former big league started this game. Both pitched very, very well in a very close ball game.
And you got a guy in Crick Sitton, too. I mean, pitched to the AAA level last year. 11 strikes to 5 balls. So that's the thing that caught my eye. You know, coming out of the bullpen in his first start of the season, he really was firing in the zone.
Righty-righty matchup here. This one swung and fouled off to the right side. 1-1.
The injuries have definitely been a thing for Barnes in his career. Last year, only played in 31 games, 247, a home run, 10 RBIs. But I mean, a high selection in the draft, number 545 overall, and at that time was the third highest player ever to come out of Texas Tech. A pretty fan program.
The 1-1 here from Higgins. This one misses inside. Barnes spins out of the way. 2 balls and a strike. All teams with 4 hits apiece. Skeeters have made 1 miscue. The Bees none. Higgins' 8th season as a pro, first in the Atlantic League, as this one is fouled off. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Acquired in a trade with the St. Paul Saints of the American Association in the offseason, where he was 13-6 with a 3.56 ERA. And some Texas connections. Higgins was drafted by the Rangers in the 47th round in 2009. Later drafted in 2011 in the 23rd round by the Marlins. This one is ball 4. Barnes will head down to first. Just the second walk of the night. First for Higgins. 1 on, 1 out. That'll bring a clean hitter. Matt Chavez for Sugarland. Chavez is 0 for 2. He has struck out and grounded it. Chavez will step in here. Chavez in his 5th season as a pro. Won the Freedom Baseball League Triple Crown. Only hit .430 that year. Not too shabby. 18 home runs, 49 RBIs.
Couldn't get up to 500, I guess.
Yeah, I guess they'll have to hold that against him. It's back in 2013.
Let's look at that league up. That was a former independent league in Arizona, no longer a league, an active league anymore. But
well, I'm taking it didn't have a lot of pitching.
Well, no, and obviously Matt Chavez left his impression on the league. He's probably the league's only ever Triple Crown winner. I have to imagine in the short time span.
At least he'll always own that record.
There you go.
Pitching coach for the Bees, Mauro Gazzo. Just a very quick chat for Higgins. Maybe kind of spotted something quickly. Skeeters leading 2-1 again. 1 on and 1 out here in the bottom of the 6th. 1-0 the count here to Matt Chavez.
Yeah, you mentioned earlier the 2 big leaguers' control has not been an issue whatsoever for these 2 guys. Only the second walk of the night, and obviously a 1-0 start to Matt Chavez. Got to check in, give his pitcher a chance to get a little breather there.
This one hit into center field. That's going to fall in for a base hit. Around second, but putting on the brakes is Barnes, and the Skeeters have a rally here with 1 out, runners on first and second. 5th hit of the night for Sugarland. Bring in former big leaguer Derek Norris. Norris has grounded out and struck out. He's 0 for 2, but has a chance to give the Skeeters a 2-run lead again. 2-1 right now. One steps the right-handed hitting catcher. Higgins' pace slowing down just a bit here.
Nobody else over in that Bees bullpen either right now. Kind of interesting with the pitching change. You would have expected somebody to maybe get loose out there.
I like to call it the hive.
I like that too.
Righty-righty matchup. Swan and hit to short. This one a tough hop. They'll hurt a second, back to first. What a play by Reed bringing it short. A very brutal hop to his left. A great short hop. Shovels it to second, turns it into a DP, and that'll end this. Right here in Sugarland.
National College Baseball Writer Association All-American junior season at TCU in 2011.
He will try to protect the Skeeters 2-1 lead here in the top of the 7th. Davidson Romero, Angeles Nina, and Connor Bierfeld, 5, 6, and 7.
I mentioned earlier how Romero has some time playing at New Britain, well, the Rockcats, 2011-2012. Had his career high, 19 home runs that year too, as well. So I'm sure he's looking forward to getting back to Connecticut and hitting in home park.
2 balls and no strikes to count here on Romero. Romero reached on air by third baseman Mauricio Ramos last time up, but just a few pitches later, he redeemed himself. Ramos turned to 5-4-3 DP. Also struck out, so he's 0 for 2. The 2-0. Swan a hit toward short. Ryan Jackson, backhander, 1 foot on the grass, throw to first, right on the money. Ryan Jackson, the former big leaguer, very impressive defensively, especially here tonight.
Yeah, both shortstops really standing out. I mean, we saw the play today.
Incep's Angeles Nina. He is grounded and hit into the aforementioned DP. He's 0 for 2. Now, he wears lucky number 7. I find it strange. Now, I'm not the biggest jinx guy in the world. I don't believe in superstitions, but I'm not going to promote them either. Wearing number 13 is just insanity to me. Why go out of your way to get bad luck? I mean, why not just open an umbrella inside, hold a horseshoe upside down? No balls and 1 strike to count here on Nina. The 0-1 grounded to short. Ryan Jackson has it. There's 2 down. 2 outs, none on. And that'll bring in Connor Bierfeld. So 2 outs, none on here for Connor Bierfeld. He has struck out, singled, and scored. As I mentioned, last year for these Bees had 238, 23 home runs, 64 RBIs. Winkler kicks and deals, and this one is high. 1 ball and no strikes to count. Bierfeld, just a little bit of bend to the knees, stands pretty straight up. The 1-0 check swing, did he go? Yes, he did. 1 ball and 1 strike to count.
Kind of a herky-jerky motion there from Winkler. He kind of has that little rock back once he gets into the, right before he hits the plate.
I just like using the word herky-jerky.
Oh, me too.
Try to work it into your daily routine.
Absolutely.
How'd you like the food? It was kind of herky-jerky. I guess if you're eating beef jerky, that makes sense. This one, Scott into right center. This should do it. It'll be the right fielder, Dotel, who brings it down. 1-2-3 for Winkler. 7th inning.
Is 11-8 with a career 3.97 ERA and 298 appearances. Also has 3 saves to his record.
You know, there's something I didn't like about Del Carmen as a Yankee fan.
Yeah, well,
But I won't hold
stock
it
there.
against him. He's actually a very nice guy. First pitch here by Del Carmen. Big swing and a miss. Strike one. No balls and one strike to count. For Sugarland, we're nursing that 2-1 lead. They will bring up 6, 7, and 8 here. Mauricio Ramos, Courtney Hawkins, Anthony Jansanti, and this one fouled sharply down the right side. Scattered the Skeeters bench, including Skeeters trainer Max Mahaffey. Everybody's okay, says Hinkie.
Yeah, somebody was tapping the that little ledge, the little face right there on the top part of the dugout. I mean, that has to be like 1 to 2 feet. That was pretty incredible that it managed to hit that. Came firing back onto the field of play.
No balls and 2 strikes to count here. Mentioned Del Carmen played for the Red Sox. He was actually born in a Boston City hospital. Slow roller deep in the hole, backhanded by the shortstop Brignac, and he throws it to first. And there's one away. Make that look very easy. So 1 out, none on. Courtney Hawkins steps in. Now owns a piece of Skeeters history, the first ever inside the park home run here at Constellation Field. He's also singled. He's 2 for 2. Skeeters leading 2-1.
Comes from a pretty athletic family as well. His brother Tim played. Not only did he play quarterback, he played wide receiver and running back at Texas State from 2009 to 2012.
Was he pulling like a Bugs Bunny? He was so fast he could throw the pass to himself?
I guess so. Kind of a jack of all trades, you could say.
This one in the dirt. Bounces high over the catcher, James Skelton, to the backstop. Now going back to being born in Boston. Grew up 5 or 6 miles from Fenway Park. He was the first inner-city Boston player drafted in 3 decades, since 1966. Parents moved from the Dominican Republic to Boston. Until Carmen's brother, get this, a Yankee fan.
Wow.
That's a battle of a family right there. That could tear a family apart.
So they lived in the Boston inner cities and managed to be a Yankee fan. That's tough.
Del Carmen's brother says you can go in his room and it's all Yankee stuff. And he went to my room and it was all Red Sox stuff. All my friends wanted to see. All my friends wanted to beat him up growing up, says Manny. 2 balls and 2 strikes. That's living dangerously in Boston.
Absolutely.
This one in the dirt. They run the count full. And I know a lot of people know about this, but Major League Baseball has an RBI program, and he was the first graduate of the Red Sox RBI Community Relations Program. RBI is short for Reviving Baseball in the Inner Cities. It really has been a great program for boys 13 to 18. Payoff pitch swung and chop foul.
Del Carmen probably didn't make his brother too happy in a 28 2/3 innings career against the Yankees in the big leagues. 2.20 ERA.
Manny's dad, Manuel Kookie Del Carmen Sr., was a middle infielder for the Phillies farm system in 1974 through 1978. And at a time when Larry Bowa was on top of the Philly system, so kind of blocked there. They've called him Kookie or Cookie. This one is hit high and deep in the air to left center field. Going back is Nina. He is on the warning track and hauls it in deep in left center field as Hawkins tried for an inside the park and a home run of the regular variety right there. Just came up a little bit short.
That would be impressive that he's done. I mean, he had the single in a second at bat too. He's kind of wearing out that left center gap tonight.
So 2 outs, none on here. Skeeters leading 2-1. Now to bring in Jansanti, who tripled and scored the go-ahead run. So fitting that number 21 would step in here with the Skeeters leading 2-1. And Del Carmen's favorite player growing up, Ken Griffey Jr. He also admires his countryman, Pedro Martinez, as a pitcher. This one a little bit high, 1 ball and 1 strike. The count here on Jansanti.
Now, I know you're a Yankees fan, but being a guy from Boston, I mean, you can only imagine what it must have been like he's making his first appearance at Fenway Park.
I mean, must have been amazing. This one hit through the left side for a base hit. So Jansanti has speed on with shoot out here. Let's see if he takes off. Mentioned last year stole 31 bases for the Skeeters. He was second to Josh Prince, who's currently in the Arizona system. Josh set the Skeeters single season record with 55, and also the Skeeters all-time stolen base king.
Gotta love what they're doing at the bottom of the order too. 4 for 5 between Hawkins and Jan Santi, and a walk too for Anthony. He's been on base all 3 times.
No doubt. It's great when you get production at the bottom of your order. The top 4 only have 2 hits.
And you mentioned Dotel, not your prototypical leadoff guy either. Nice person at the top of the lineup.
Well, first pitch here to the switch hitting Alvaro Rondon. Misses 1 ball and no strikes to count. Skeeters leading 2-1 here in the 7th. Throw to first. Jan Santi dives back in head first. Oh man, it's that time of the night where that popcorn is wafting into the booth.
It's yeah, my mouth's watering a little bit. That kettle corn smells pretty good.
Yeah, that's exactly what that smell is. Smell-o-vision here on 96.1 FM. Smell-o-radio? I guess that's more apt. It's a new technology. I like to call it smell audio.
I don't know if I'm with you on that one there.
Well, then give it a name for us, Ryan.
I mean, you took your best shot at it there.
It's not TV, so smell-o-vision is not technically correct.
That's true. That's true.
Jan Santi with a decent lead at first. Until Carmen comes home. There goes Jan Santi. This one chopped foul off of first, so Anthony will have to come back. And Anthony is a Connecticut native himself, as the Skeeters play the New Britain Bees of Connecticut here. 2 balls and 1 strike to count here on Rondon.
Hey, you mentioned Josh Prince as well, Cole Gillespie, Jeremy Barfield, Andy Wilkins, all in major league organizations right now in the minors as well.
Barfield was so close to getting called up at the end of the year. Man, did he mash. The 2-1. Swung and chop, high chopper right side. Nice play. Abreu to his left, and he'll throw out Rondon. part of the Giants team in 2010 and 2012. Did not pitch in the playoffs at all during those years, but as part of the team all year, you get yourself a World Series ring. And he will be the third lefty out of the bullpen. Excuse me, second lefty out of the bullpen. Lefty, righty, lefty. As they went in the bullpen from Sitton to Winkler and now to Runsler. Runsler impressive in his prime. He threw 100 miles an hour. Still can't sit about 97 at times. Plays the switch hitting Tony Abreu here, who has struck out and doubled. First pitch was a strike. This one a slow roll at a third. Ramos has it. They toss across in plenty of time. There's out number one.
Yeah, I read a story about Danny Renzo. Now you mentioned how hard he used to throw. His dad had to stop playing catch with him. Turned his hand too bad. Danny was throwing too hard.
Poor Dad. Way to take one for the team, Dad. Dan's wife was actually a pretty good tennis player, then became a reporter. That's where Dan and her met. Big hello if she's listening. This one swung and fouled back into the screen. No balls and one strike to count. Skeeters leading 2-1 here in the top half of the eighth. Skeeters need 6 outs out of their bullpen to get the victory. Runs has got to be tough. This lefty-lefty matchup here as he faces James Skelton. The 0-1. Fastball just missed off the outside corner. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. 2-1 here in the top half of the eighth inning.
As it stands now, it looks like we'll get a chance to see how Pete Incaviglio wants to handle the ninth innings. We touched on how it looks like it's going to be a timeshare between Polino and Rodriguez, depending on lefty-righty.
I like that, a timeshare. You can buy a piece of an inning at a low price for many years to come.
I think they'll take that.
Maybe you do have sales skills there, Posner. I do it all day long, but you just entered maybe missing your forte there in life.
Yeah, might be my hidden craft.
This one misses outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes to count here on Skelton. 2 runs, 6 hits, 1 error for the Skeeters. 1 run, 5 hits, and no E's for the Bees. The 2-2. Swung on, skied to left. Barnes stops, now shades to his left, and he'll haul it in. Sometimes the lights in left field become very tricky. Nicely played by Barnes. 2 outs, none on. We go back to the top of the order and look up. Since that 2-out single in the 6th, that's now 6 in a row retired by Skeeters pitchers. Skeeters 4 outs away from an opening day win.
Yeah, method of the madness. 16 pitchers on the staff. Big bullpen. Obviously like to go early and often this season, you'd imagine.
Ramos creeps in at third. Mentioned the speed of Ford and a great bunter, and really might be the key to winning this game. You can, even with 2 outs, if he gets on, he is going to be pesky. And those guys with great speed, it's the one player, and I'm talking about just the speedy guys, who can disrupt an entire team. The catcher's got to keep an eye on the pitcher, the first baseman, shortstop. It kind of gets everybody out of sync. This one is hit to right field. Line drive right at Dotel, and the former Atlantic League player third. Last time up. So in steps Wellington. His parents must have been a big fan of the beef.
Yeah, I know the Wellington Castillo, the Orioles catcher. I'm not sure if he's still with them. They called him Beef Mode. I always loved that nickname.
First pitch there is a little bit low and away, 1-0. Skeeters leading 2-1 here. Trying to get some insurance here. Speaking of insurance, remember insurance runs brought to you by good friends all season long on Texas Farm Bureau. Texas Farm Bureau members get free tickets to Skeeters games on Sunday. Just show proof of your current membership at the Skeeters ticket office and you get 2 free tickets to any Skeeters Sunday home game. Visit your local agent to become a member today. 2 runs on 6 hits for Sugarland, 1 run on 5 for the Bees. This one grounded to second. Tough hop played nicely by Abreu, the second baseman, and he'll throw out to Hotel 4-3. In steps Ryan Jackson. He's 0 for 3. He has struck out, fouled out, and flied out. Number 4 will step in here. Jackson, slightly open stance and deep in the box from the right side against the right-hander Elvin Ramirez. This one swung on, first pitch pops out. Ramirez points it out, third base, and Skelton, the catcher, will yield to the third baseman. There is 2 away. Romero brings it down for the second out. So 4 impressive relief appearance by Ramirez. 3 pitches, 2 down. That'll bring in Sugarland native Barrett Barnes. Barnes has struck out, popped out, and walked. Last time up, he's 0 for 2. Trying to get on here with 2 outs and trying to get the Skeeters an insurance run. They're leading 2-1. The righty-righty matchup here for Ramirez. First pitch is a fastball down the middle for strike 1. No balls and 1 strike to count. Tomorrow, in Game 2 of the 6-game set, it'll be Logan Baucom for the Skeeters against fellow right-hander Mark Hamburger. Be one of the better baseball names.
Yeah, that's, again, with the kettle corn on Mark Hamburger, I'm getting hungry.
Any pitches in New Britain, they should have Mark Hamburger night, like dollar hamburgers.
So there you go, you got the sales mind. That's crap, that's a veteran move right there.
Let's just say I'm on the mark. This one a strike, 2 balls and 1 strike to count.
The baseball definitely in the bloodline for Barrett Barnes, nephew of former Major League right-hander Anthony Young. Holds a record you may not want to always be known for, the most consecutive decisions
26,
lost.
Wasn't it? Over 2 years? And
27,
21?
yeah.
21 during one season?
Yes, it was over 2 years.
That was kind of the later years after the 86 World Series, but Wally Backman, I don't think he was on the team that long. And this one on the outside corner, strike 3, so Ramirez. innings. Just 30 walks, so 3-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio in 85 1/3 innings. The Skeeters leading 2-1. Rodriguez will try for his first save of the year as he faces Siciliani. He has grounded out all 3 times and committed 4 outs. Grounded into a double play, and the last 2 times up he has grounded at the short. Shaded way off the third base bag is Mauricio Ramos. First pitch, lefty on lefty. This one is skied to left center field. Jan Santi moves and cuts in front of left fielder Barrett Barnes. 1 pitch, 1 out. The Skeeters are 2 outs away from an opening day victory. That'll bring in Jonathan Galvez, who has a 2-for-3 night after grounding back to the pitcher. He has singled each of his last 2 times up. It's of the regular variety and an infield single. Remember, stick around after the game. Fireworks will go on. Skeeters leading 2-1 here in the top half of the 9th. Going to start off the year with a victory. Spent the offseason pitching in the Puerto Rico Winter League. Just 4 games, though. No record, a very high 16.88 ERA. Last season spent time recovering from an injury. Missed all of the 2016 season. Spent some time in the Gulf Coast League with the Orioles. 1-2 with a 7.50 ERA. And now Rodriguez from a little bit of a crouch on the mound. Now he straightens up. They set up inside on the 1-0. Check swing, misses a little inside. 2 balls and no strikes. Now I'm going to say the scoreboard a little off on that last pitch, registered at 115 miles an hour. I don't think he throws quite that fast. He does have a good fastball. I'll give him that. This one misses low and away. Now 3 balls and no strikes. Rodriguez mentioned he missed 2016, missed the end of 2015 and all of 2016 with Tommy John surgery. His big league debut in 2012 with the Dodgers. Appeared in the team opener in 2012 with the Dodgers as well. The 3-0. This one is off the outside corner. Fastball misses. Ball 4. That's just the 2nd walk of the night issued by Skeeters pitching, and unfortunately that brings the tying run on base, and it looks like there's going to be a pinch runner here. Let's see here. I don't know who that pinch runner is here. That is Vinny Sienna, named after a crayon, apparently. So in steps the switch hitting Reed Brignac, former big league with the Rays. Landing here from the left side. You see Brignac not switch hitting anymore as he is batting from the left side against the southpaw. Quick throw over to first by Rodriguez, but getting back easily is Sienna. Skeeters clinging to a 2-1 lead here in the top of the 9th. Tying run is on at first with 1 away. This one a check swing, but a strike on the outside corner. 0-1 the count here to Brignac. He has grounded to second, hit into a fielder's choice, and popped out to short. He's 0 for 3. Sienna extending that lead at first, not leaning. They set up outside. Norris getting in position to throw down to second. Big swing and a miss there. 93-mile-an-hour fastball, and Brignac couldn't catch up to it. No balls and 2 strikes to count. So now Paco Rodriguez ahead, no balls and 2 strikes in a battle of former big leaguers. Brignac has an open stance from the left side. Rodriguez from the stretch takes a look at first, comes home. The runner stays put. This one low and away. Reed would not chase. 1 ball and 2 strikes to count. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out, 1 on. Skeeters leading 2-1 here in the ninth. Trying to go 5-2 in opening days in the Skeeters franchise history here in year 7. This one, great pitch on the outside corner, strike 3. Brainiac was helpless, and that is the second out. The Skeeters 1 out away from an opening day victory. Well, the only thing standing between a Skeeters opening day win is Davidson Romero. Romero so far 0 for 3. He has struck out looking, reached on an error by third baseman Mauricio Ramos, and grounded out to short his last time up. Stands close to the plate from the right side of the box against the southpaw. Also stands very deep with an open stance. Throw to first, diving back in head first is Sienna. You don't want to get picked off to end the game, so I don't think he'll be going here unless, this is a big unless Romero was down in the count, say 1-2 or 0-2, and that's usually the steal count, but with 2 outs in the ninth, down by 1, he's probably not going anywhere, just out there trying to score on an extra base hit to tie this one. First pitch check swing, but he clearly went all the way through. No balls and 1 strike to count. Turned back to ask the home plate umpire if he swung at a strike or not. Either way, that is a strike. Skeeter fans sensing an opening day victory, getting into it here. Rodriguez again looks at first. They set up inside. This one swung on, sky to shallow left field. Charging it is Barnes, and it's going to be off the mitt of Ryan Jackson. Now it gets past Barnes. Going to third is Sienna. And now runners on the corners and sneaking in. No one was paying attention as Romero had stopped at first. Nobody paid attention. He snuck into second. Now a base hit would give the Bees the lead here in the ninth. A tough play. Barnes really didn't have a chance on a low sinking bloop. Jackson, Willie Mays style, tried to cash the one over his left shoulder, went off of his mitt and dropped in. And now big trouble for the Skeeters with 2 outs and 2 on here in the ninth. That'll bring in Angeles Nina. He has grounded out all 3 times, once to first, once hit into a 5-4-3 twin killing and grounded out to short last time up. Skeeters now cling to a 2-1 lead here in the top of the ninth. Runners in scoring position on second and third. Trailing up 2-1. First pitch to Nina. And this one a fastball for a strike on the outside corner, 0-1. Nina, one of those pesky hitters, you have to be careful. As the Skeeter fans come alive here to try to rally their team to a victory. 2 runs on 6 hits for the Skeeters, 1 on now 5 hits for the Bees, and Rodriguez taking a little too long for Nina's liking. He asked for timeout and steps out. Rodriguez, 12 pitches, 7 for strikes, 5 for balls. Now Nina's ready, as is Rodriguez. Now Rodriguez steps off, and he just does not look comfortable out there right now. There's nothing he can do. The runners aren't going anywhere on second and third. 2 down. Just has to focus on the hitter. He's ahead in the count, 0-1. They set up inside to jam him. The 0-1. This one hit out to left field. Low sinking line drive. Cut by the shortstop, Ryan Jackson. And that's the game as the Skeeters win for the 3rd straight time here on opening day with a 2